getting level 1 invaded has always been an issue in Unite that is very hard to, I don't know, do something about, right? It's very difficult if your team doesn't respond to help you, and I don't know if it should be part of the game. Invading feels very cheesy, and jungling should be for Pokemon, right? I feel like that have very bad laning phase to get them actually to the levels that they need. Of course, I think jungling is still overpowered, and junglers shouldn't get all of this free experience, but that's a different topic. But Sableye, since Sableye has been released, it has getting worse and worse. Now every year Sableye is invading, and this Pokemon, you can't do anything about it, right? Usually when other people invade, you can at least see them and start auto-taking them, right? So you can auto-take them, harass them a bit, but since this Pokemon is invisible, it's always full HP, and you don't even know from which direction it comes. You don't know when it's gonna strike, and it's so painful. You can see this game right here. I have no chance. I am a very weak late game, early game Pokemon. My Egg Slash is gonna start helping me now. It's already quite, I mean, at least he's helping, right? It's always quite late. And it's hard to in solo queue. Like, I don't mind that my team doesn't help me, it's difficult. And right here, we actually get lucky, it is on 1 HP. And the enemy Sableye gets the red buff as well. So how do we come back from this? Well, we have to try and stay tilt-proof. We can't tilt, we just have to try our best to maybe slowly come back into this match. But obviously, it's looking quite bad. I'm only level 4, enemy jungler already level 5. And so far behind, we're not even at the Altaria spawn yet. And yeah, it's a very OP strategy, as you can see, right? It is very annoying to play against. Sometimes it can pay very hard. In this case, obviously, it went very well for the enemy team. Because the enemies also usually have then one less laner, which means that there could be a chance that, you know, if you have 2 people in one lane, and they hopefully have 1, that your lane just completely storms. But here's well again, so I'm level 4, and I'm still not level 5 yet. So Sableye just comes towards my blue buff again, which he can very easily, especially if they run Floatstone, right? Because Floatstone makes you run so fast across the map. So I skip the Bite Toy because it doesn't give me level 5. And I just try to smack down this blue buff before Sableye is here. Oh, guess what? Sableye is here. But luckily, he messes up this time. If he doesn't mess up this, my game would probably be over. My game would be over, and I had nothing I could do about it. That's the worst part as well, because I just don't have a good early game last sitting. And that's just the frustrating part. So, but now I'm level 5, so now I can at least finally start getting, you know, my things. And I just want to have this discussion. I want you guys to ask if you think, no, the enemy jungler's here as well, because the Sableye is buying so much time. The enemy jungler can just walk into my jungle and kill me as well. I want you guys to, I'm curious if you guys think level 1 invading should be a thing, or if Timmy should have something that makes level 1 invading not possible, right? Like make things spawn faster, have like some invisible wall somewhere that you can't enter in the early game. Or do you think it's a fair mechanic that should be there? I feel like level 1 invading always feels very sweaty. And I personally, I've never done it myself. I've never level 1 invaded because I feel like it's just, I mean, it's a very OP strategy, but I don't need to sweat this much to get my points in ranked. You know what I mean? So I've never level 1 invaded. I do jungle invade at some point, right? Especially if I see enemy junglers overextend, I go into their jungle and take their jungle. But I've never, in my Unite career, started a game and ran over to the enemy jungle and contested the enemy jungle. I just always found it just such an unfun mechanic. Like if I get invaded, I know my entire day is ruined. So I know we play MOBAs to ruin other people's day, but at some point I'm like, you know, these people are just gonna quit the game if they get perma invaded, and it just feels so weird. And I'm just not a fan of that strategy at all. I always hate seeing it when it's being played. But of course, again, as you can see, I'm still at level 9 as our jungler, so it's totally a viable strategy. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think it's something that should stay in the game? Do you do it yourself? Do you wish it wasn't a thing? And is it fair because jungling is so overpowered that junglers should be, you know, get punished a bit as well? Again, jungle is supposed to be normally for Pokemon that like want early power spikes and have bad early game sometimes, right? Like Cinderace, Greninja, Decidueye, those Pokemon have very bad early game. So jungle is perfect for them to get safe experience. But you can't get safe experience in jungle anymore. So maybe having Cinderace in lane sometimes would actually be better as a funny joke. So yeah, I tried my hardest to still win this game. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of this, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But at least you see Pikachu as well. Like, you see Pikachu. You see it. You can maybe tell when it's at least, you know, happening, but... And Pikachu dies, you know? Sableye doesn't die. You can't get punished for what it's doing. That's the biggest bullshit. It just gets away with everything it does. I didn't kill. This vision, I should have stayed in the bush, I'm bad. Like, I really want to know, ask the guys who designed Sableye, what went through their heads when they designed this character. Have they thought one single second about how it would be, like how unfun it's to play against it? Did they ever just think for that for 1 second? What they're creating? Just for 1 second, think about what terrible design it is. Man. How do game developers not think about that? Or like 1 second when they create things? It's amazing. I actually have to eject. As I got both Gengar and Sableye. What about Unite hit, by the way, there? Right. Did hit Sableye, but he still turned invisible? Is that what happened? Because he still turns invisible even though he's stunned for some reason. At least that's satisfying revenge, at least in the end. Punching in the last team fight, killing him.